What's up? It's your girl, MAIMUXIC, and I want to thank y'all for coming to kick it at the backline today. And listen, we got us a super duper dope lineup, so you're going to want to make sure you keep it locked on the backline from start to finish. You're not going to want to miss it. And look, just giving you a little preview of today's episode, we got a super duper dope guest coming to the show. We interviewed this young man over on my other show, Uptown Sounds, toward the end of 2025, and y'all been rocking with this young man. I had some people DM me and ask me about him, so you know what, we gonna run that on the backline today, so y'all keep it locked for that. And look, I always try to keep it real with y'all. I'm still finding my footing, my grounding with the backline. I kid y'all not, this is my 9th time doing my intro, I think. So we gonna roll with this one. We gonna rock with this one. We getting the nerves out. I don't know why I'm so nervous on the backline. I ain't had these issues on Uptown Sounds. But hey, man, we gonna put that same love and energy and effort that we did into Uptown Sounds and building that up to the platform that it is, to building up the backline to be just as much of a force in this industry, man. So listen, let me paint y'all the picture. I try to come in and give y'all a little, we getting together for the week. We gotta talk for the week, so I come in, I let y'all know what's going on. I've been doing work. Like, I've been on streaming services, running through artists to try to find y'all the best and the brightest, and I think I found the best for this week. All right, super duper dope lineup, and I came across a band. All right, it's on a streaming service, and I was listening to a band that I know and I love. Shout out to Living AI. I was listening to them, and then I came across another band, and I was like, yo, this band, they seem like they cool, they seem dope, like they got great energy, like they seem like a fun group of people putting out super duper dope music. And went and listened to that song, and I was like, oh yeah, that's official, that's going on the backline, that's happening. All right, y'all make sure y'all do some research on them. Go ahead and go give them a follow, show them some love. They look like they might just be starting out a little bit. I could be wrong in my assessment, but we gonna show them some love. We gonna hopefully grow with them, and that is my good people over at Photobomb. All right, and this is their joint, Lookout.
Takes me out for the night, but when I wake up I can't help but deny that he's the one. Oh God, now this can't be right. Now this can't be right. It's getting harder to fight. My tongue ain't easy to bite, and I can't swallow my now. He's here treating me all sweet and great. Yeah, it's cute and all, but it just can't take away his dishonesty, his ambiguity. How could we ever be dating exclusively?
like them a lot. I don't know about y'all, but we gonna be listening to Photobomb more and more on the backline, man. Y'all make sure y'all show them some love. You can follow them on Instagram at Photobomb the band. From there, you'll be able to find all the members of the band. Y'all make sure y'all follow their band page. You follow them individually. You keep an eye on everything that they got going on. Lookout is the only song that I was able to find that they have out right now, but we definitely gonna keep in touch with them. We gonna be listening to their new songs as they drop. You know, we gonna invite them on to the show. We gonna do the whole shebang of how we do it over here at the backline. We gonna make sure we show some love to Photobomb. All right, keeping things moving on the backline. I just want to say thank you to all of y'all. If you still here listening, I appreciate you. You know, y'all working with me as I'm finding my foot, and I'm still finding my voice over on this show. You know, I mentioned it a little bit in the intro, but we still working on that. We still working on that. So I appreciate y'all going through these early growing pains with me. If you some of my Uptown Sounds family coming and show love over here on the backline, I so appreciate you. I appreciate all of y'all. I hope y'all out there having an amazing day. I hope your day is getting a little better with every song that we play on the backline. All right, now I want to get into the next song by a young lady by the name of Darcy, Moran. And listen, I'm super excited. I'm about to have the opportunity to work with her in March. So I'm familiarizing myself and everything that I've heard so far. I'm a huge fan of what Darcy is doing, and this song is no exception to that. This is Darcy Moran and her song Stall.
Get back in bed, my darling. You don't have to leave so soon. Kiss me again, my darling. We can stall time in this room. 'Cause you'll go see your friends and I'll stay with mine. And I'll give you the keychain as long as you'll be fine. You'll be fine. But I'll run, 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 no matter what you do. So I'll run, 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 but only for you. Seems like the whole world is burning down. Who knew the arms of a killer could seem so safe and sound? They said you could find a family if you build one on your own. How could I believe you when you said you're coming home? You said run, 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 if anything happens to you. So I'll run, together. Can we just stall here forever?
Huge shout out to Darcy Moran. Y'all make sure y'all show some love to her. That was her joint Star. Y'all make sure y'all give her a follow on Instagram. You can follow her at Darcy Moran with 2 N's. Show some love to her. And listen, if you local, you can catch her at the Flint Local 432 on March 28th, performing at a show as a part of a program we're running called Amplify Her for Women's History Month. So y'all show some love to Darcy. Come out, support her if you're around. If you're not around, listen, you fly in. That ain't nothing but a ticket. We can make that happen. All right, man, we're going to keep things moving on the back line. And look, I got a question for y'all, okay? Now, if you listen to Uptown Sounds, then you know, now that the Backline has its own show, we've been playing around with some different segments. We've been doing some different things over there. You know, even trying to upgrade. If you're watching on our official YouTube page at MAIMUXIC, MAIMUXIC, then you can see that this episode looks a little different aesthetically than the last episode. Like, we just been playing with stuff, trying to get things right, you know, moving things around, doing different stuff just to, you know, figure out what the whole vibe over here is gonna be, and, you know, solidifying the vibe over at Uptown Sounds. But what I'm thinking is, you know, I want to play around with a few things over here on the Backline, you know, introduce some segments. There's some people I've been talking to about potentially coming in and doing a quick little 10-minute lesson on, you know, how to play guitar or how to play bass or how to do this, how to adjust your vocals depending on the genre of music that you sing, and, you know, different stuff like that. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about that. Shoot me a DM on Instagram at MAIMUXIC. Let me know how y'all feeling. I was also thinking, you know, we got 2 shows now, and one of my favorite things, I'm gonna paint the picture for y'all, okay? So my grandmother, I was at my grandmother's house, and, you know, y'all know we all got grannies out there, you know, and mine, she likes to watch the soap operas. So, you know, General Hospital, Days of Our Lives, all the ones that's still on, she watches them. And I was telling her, I was like, oh, you know, Beyond the Gates is gonna have a crossover event with Days of Our Lives or General Hospital or whichever ones are still on. And it got me thinking. I was like, what if we had some crossover episodes between the Backline and Uptown Sounds, or the Backline and some of the other, you know, hosts on Sonic Scout Radio? Nah, we're working through some stuff. It's some stuff in the works, I'm gonna tell y'all that. But y'all let me know what y'all think about that. One thing about me as we getting to know each other over here is that I'm all about feedback. I feel like this show does not belong just to me, it belongs to us. So I love hearing from y'all. I love checking my DMs and seeing what y'all got to say. I so appreciated it. It does my heart a lot of good to see that people actually rocking with it and listening to it, and, you know, wanna see it get better and improve on all fronts. So big shout out to y'all. Give yourselves a round of applause, everybody out there that's still listening. All right, man, we gonna keep this thing moving. I don't even know why I'm talking this much. We got some stuff to get into. All right, so we gonna keep this thing moving. Now this next band, they sound dope to me. This is another one. One thing about this episode is I tried to challenge myself with really getting outside of the comforts of, like, the artists that I know, and just really, like, getting out to some artists that are in different places that I don't know, that I've never met, that I'm, you know, just finding out about myself and really learning and becoming fans of them with y'all. That's what this is going to be about. We're going to challenge ourselves to really get out there. I'm going to put myself in y'all's shoes and try to present some artists that I'm still learning about. I got to do more homework on. I got to listen to more of their discographies, the whole 9. And this band right here, Foxhole, I came across this song, Scatterbrain, that they have, and I fell in love with it. So let's listen to it.
identification. I get dumber every day. 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 Still living to stay high, but now I'm on a different vibe. I don't need failed love to write, 'cause that ain't what's keeping me up at night. And yes, it would be a lie if I said it never crossed my mind. Look a little closer and I think you'll find, even if I glow, I can never shine. I get dumber every day. 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 Every day. Every day. Every day. Every day. Every day. Every day.
They had me at the beginning of the song before anything dropped. Like, soon as that guitar came in, they had me hooked right there. Big shout out to Foxhole. That was that joint Scatterbrain. Y'all make sure y'all show them some love. Cause listen, look, I'm gonna probably keep telling y'all as we progress through season 1, but I'm still learning about my inner punk rocker. Like, low key, high key, I'm a punk rocker. That's just what it is. Like, in all honesty. But it's songs like that I feel like would be my theme song. Like, when I popped out, you know, on my whatever I'm on, like, that would be like one of my theme songs. So big shout out to Foxhole. They super duper dope. Y'all show them some love. Stream Scatterbrain, shoot them a DM, let them know how you feeling about them. All right, we're gonna keep this thing moving on the back line. And before we get into the next song, I want to take a moment to show some love to Sonic Scout Radio, the home team over there, doing big things. Y'all make sure y'all have the official Sonic Scout Radio app downloaded. Make sure you listen to not only the backline, but also go listen to Uptown Sounds. I hear it's an incredible show with an incredible host over there. Make sure you listen to Backline, Uptown Sounds, but also listen to all the shows featured on Sonic Scout Radio. Man, there's so many amazing, incredible hosts that are doing really the same thing as the artists. Like, you know, we are all DIY in different places, really building up these platforms from scratch. Like, we getting it out the mud all together. So when you hear these independent artists on every single show, know that the hosts that are bringing it to you, they're in that same position. They're putting their time and their energy out to find incredible artists and really building up platforms together. So big shout out to all of the artists featured on all of Sonic Scout Radio across all of the shows. Big shout out to all of my fellow hosts on Sonic Scout Radio, and big shout out to all of the people behind the scenes that you don't see, that you don't hear from. You may not know their name, but they're making all of this happen. They're handling the social medias. They're making sure that every show is getting played at the right times. You know, they handling all of the uploading and all of that, man. So big shout out to them. All right, man, let's get back into this music. Let's keep this thing moving right here. And this is another one of those incredible voices. Like, this show is full of some voices, man. Like, some incredible, just beautiful voices. And this young lady right here, that was the thing that caught my ear when I accidentally hit play on a song. And I was on YouTube. Like, this wasn't, you know, on my radar. I'm on YouTube, and a song had ended, and y'all know how it's just like an automatic, it'll just play the next song, whatever the next song is. This the song that played, and I was like, who is this? Is she signed? And I gotta put this on my show. So honestly, this is a real time, like, in the moment. I don't know much about this young lady. I'm gonna go do my research, but this song was too good to not have on the back line. And that is Gina Marie, and this is her joint, Mercy.
fall back into that hole again. You're screaming words on a loop in my head. Day in, day out, I'm forced to pretend like I'm not affected by what you just said. I thought I knew better. I said I'd never let it get this bad again. When we're together, I run out of oxygen. I wanna shut you up, 'cause your voice is getting louder. Wanna shut you up and make you go away, 'cause you know what you are. You never cared about me, so just let me out. Show me mercy, 'cause I can barely breathe. I can barely breathe. When you fell, you pulled me down, shoot me up and spin me right out. Had my world spinning around, my head underground, just how you want it. How can you act like nothing happened? Take some credit for your actions. How can you be fine when you just tore me up inside? Shut you up, 'cause your voice is getting louder. Wanna shut you up and make you go away, 'cause you know what you are. You never cared about me, so just let me out. Show me mercy, 'cause I can barely breathe. I can barely breathe. I'm stuck in the deep end, wish I never died. Tried crawling away, but you picked dirt in my eyes. I never begged you to hurt me, so why did you try? And now I'm begging for mercy, my hands to the sky. Sometimes I wonder if it wasn't just words. Would it hurt the same? Would it be better or worse? What sticks and stones give me reason enough? Or would I stay and suffer and call it love? I wanna shut you up, 'cause your voice is getting louder. Shut you out and make you go away, 'cause you know what you are. You never cared about me, so just let me out. Show me mercy, 'cause I can barely breathe. I can barely breathe. I can barely breathe.
Y'all see why that just had to be on here? Like that had to be on here. Like I wasn't checking for it. I didn't know it existed, and I let it play and I kept listening to it, and I literally was like trying to set up everything, and it was just playing in my headphones, and I was like it stole my attention. Like I had to come back to it and figure it out. So big shout out to Gina Marie. That was her joint, Mercy. Y'all show her some love. Go follow her on Instagram at Gina Marie Music. I gotta have her on the show. Like I gotta go do some work. As soon as we finish rapping on this, I'ma go find her. I'ma shoot her a DM and see what we can make happen, because she's incredible. That voice is incredible. Oh my God. Big shout out, man. Woo! It's some incredible talent out there. Like I say this all the time on Uptown Sounds. I don't want to hear nobody crying about like music is not good no more. That is not the case at all. Your algorithm is just off. Like once you get into the algorithm of like these artists, you know, who maybe aren't like mainstream just yet, but they on their way. This is talent on talent on talent. It's unique. It is, I don't feel like any of these songs that we played thus far, any of the songs that we will play, I don't feel like at any point in time I got lost, and I literally do, like, as I'm figuring out, like, okay, what's gonna be the lineup, what's gonna be the order, I listen to the songs in the order that we gonna play them, and at no point do I feel like any of these songs have run into each other or they felt like they were the same thing, or even any of the artists or bands, like, they all feel unique, they all feel different, like they have their own energy, their own vibe to them. It's just super dope, super duper dope. And we're gonna move right into the next band right here, and this is another one. I absolutely love this song. I found this song probably like a week ago, and I've been so excited to get it on the back line ever since then, and that is No Refunds featuring Gladys Vera, and this is I Need You.
I feel a pressure that I just can't lift above. I must be in a dream of one that I just can't wake up. Like running in a speeding traffic, the rush I get, I gotta have it. 1,000 things I gotta tell you, but when you're here I lose them. You got me babbling like an idiot, even though I already know what to say. Reminding myself that you're not all that. But when you're gone, you got me thinking, I need you. I gotta strive for it.
I just wanna share your time. I just wanna fill your mind. The space just drives me crazy. More I think about it lately.
Please give me some peace of mind. Am I wasting your time? Is it all just in my head? Should I leave it unsaid? Should I leave it unsaid? Or should I just let it out? Is it all just in my head? Wanna scream it out.
I need I gotta strive for it. I need you. It's not the first time, it's not the last time. Writing songs about you that I can't even get right. It's not the first time, it's not the last time. Writing songs about you that I can't even get
Just incredible. Like, literally, as I was listening to it again, I fell in love with it again, like, legitimately. Y'all make sure y'all show No Refunds some love. Follow them on Instagram at no_refunds_music. Tap in with them. Go listen to, I believe that song was a part of an album or an EP, if I'm not mistaken. So y'all make sure y'all listen to the entire project. One thing you'll find about me is when I like a song, I have a tendency just to listen to that song and I eventually get to the rest of the project. But for the time being, I just, I'll be running back that song and those couple of songs that I know I'm like in love with, and then I'll make my way and listen to it. So y'all make sure y'all listen to the whole project, because look, that talent extends just past just that song onto the rest of the entire project. Big shout out to No Refunds. Now I want to get into this. Let me paint the picture for y'all, okay? Now, if you listen to Uptown Sounds this week, then you know the plan was to have a guest come in. I came to do the episode of Uptown Sounds like 2 days ago, right? And so the plan was, I told y'all I tried not to record both shows on the same day, because I want to make sure I give each show its own energy, its own attention, without having to think about the other. So I came in like 2 days ago to the studio, and I was supposed to do the episode of Uptown Sounds and then have my guest for the backline come and do their interview. And some stuff happened, it just kind of fell apart, so we had to reschedule for next week. So y'all keep it locked, because next week we should have another guest. But what ended up happening was, did my episode of Uptown Sounds, and then the following day, which was yesterday for me, I was supposed to record the episode of The Backline and have my guest for Uptown Sounds join me on that day. That just kind of all fell apart, so I came in today and I was like, yesterday I was going to record the episode, but the energy, I just didn't feel like the energy was there, like I feel like I had to wait a day to really get my everything in order, So I waited a day, and I was thinking, and I went on Instagram, and I'm working on this. I'm just one person, and I was checking my DMs, and I saw like 4 or 5 people shoot me DMs, and they was like, "Who is this Zeke Rowan kid?" And I was like, "Yo, that's Zeke Rowan." Like, I tagged his page. I'm like, this little homie right here. This Zeke Rowan. He's super duper dope. And the thing that I didn't realize is, if you're not like tapped in Uptown Sounds, you may not know the story behind Zeke Rowan and how I came to know him. So one of my good friends, Epoch, which is a producer, we've had him on Uptown Sounds a couple of times, he tagged me in with Zeke Rowan. And Zeke, he was just like on some, "Hey, this is my friend Zeke. You do music. I think y'all should lock in, tap in with each other." I was like, "Cool." So I text him. I'm like, "Yo, what's up? Epoch, send me your info and everything. I just want to tap in with you, see what you do." And he was telling me, "Oh, I do this type of music. I can do like indie acoustic, da-da-da-da." And I'm like, "Cool," and at the time I had a show in mind that was a few months out at that point. I hadn't really booked nobody for it, so I was like, "Yo, this be dope, let me get him on that show." And so he sent me a song, and I was like, when people tap me in with other artists, I don't think I have expectations, if you know what I mean. Like, I'm not really thinking anything of it. I'm like, cool, like I'm gonna check you out. It might not be right at that moment, but I don't really have expectations for it of what I think it's gonna be. So I listened to the song that Zeke sent, and I was like, I don't want to say I was pleasantly surprised, but in a way I was pleasantly surprised, because it was not like anything I had heard up to that point. And I also don't want to say I wasn't expecting that, but I wasn't expecting that. Like, it was something that I didn't, like, people tell you they do music every day, and I think they'll never. And when I heard Zeke, I was like, "Oh yeah, sign your autograph right now." Like, that's how I was feeling. Like, sign your autograph now, because once you get there, I want to be able to let everybody know, hey, I knew him beforehand. And so that's the feeling that I have. And then fast forward to the show that we had Zeke at the Flint Local 432. I had the same reaction from people, and people was coming up to me, and they was like, a good friend, Chris the Boss, which also, if you're a fan of Uptown Sounds, then Chris came up to me. He was like, "Yo, who was that?" Like, Zeke performing on stage, I'm kind of ducked off to the side. Chris walked up to me, he like, "Hey, who is that?" And I'm like, yeah, yep, one of them ones. So it was a super dope moment to have that same thing happen on Instagram when people was listening to last week's episode of The Backline, and it was like, yo, who is this kid? He's super duper dope. So when I came in today, fast forward, I know I'm fast forwarding and backing up to a whole lot of places in time, but we back at today. We back at right now. I came in and I was looking at my phone and seeing the DMs, and I was like, yo, I gotta introduce everybody to Zeke the right way. So what we gonna do right now is we gonna run back an interview that we did with Zeke Rowan back in 2025, at the end of 2025, and it was super duper dope. You know, we just got to know each other a little bit more, and this is before I knew that Zeke was a part of a band, and I'm super excited because I got this band coming to perform at the local in a couple of weeks. So I'm gonna keep y'all locked on that, but hopefully, fingers crossed, before we get to that show, I'm able to get the entire band into the studio where we can just kick it, we can talk, we can go over everything that they've been doing, because I believe in them wholeheartedly with everything in me. So without further ado, I want to introduce y'all to Zeke Rowan. All right, everybody, let's welcome on Zeke Rowan to the show. How you doing today, Zeke?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you so much for popping out. You are officially our third guest in studio. You and DJ, shout out to DJ back here.
Shout out DJ.
So Rowan, tell us a little bit about Zeke, how you got started in music, kind of what was your introduction to it, some of your inspirations maybe coming up as you were, exploring the world of music.
Right. So when I was little, music was always a big part of my life because my mother was in a band, and I was born in California. So, music scene around there is pretty like diverse and such. She was in like a ska reggae band. So that was kind of like the first music I really like fell in love with.
That's dope. That's the first time I've heard that. Okay.
Yeah. And then it just kind of progressed from there. I started to, my mom put me onto Bruno Mars. So really my mom's kind of like the key behind all of this.
I feel that.
She just enriched my music taste a lot when I was younger. And I think it really built, I'd say the sound that I have. But as I got into like middle school and stuff like that, I started to listen to a band called The Drums. It has Johnny Pierce in it. And his vocal range is basically kind of almost the same as mine because he can hit some falsettos, and so that kind of it gave me a purpose to reach outside of my comfort zone and kind of follow whatever he was doing with it. So that's kind of a lot of the indie aspects you hear in my music, so that's where that stems from.
That's dope. That's super duper dope. So at what age would you say you really got into okay, maybe this is something that I can do. Maybe I should pursue this a little bit, put some effort into it. Start getting mics and, working on GarageBand and all of that.
Right. Okay, so I started, dating back to middle school again, when I was about 11, I found an artist, Joji, pink guy also. And so that's actually where I got GarageBand from, was he said that he uses it and he strictly used that for a long time because it was free also. So that kind of inspired me to get it. And then so by the time I was 12, I was already asking for MIDI keyboards. And I actually got one when I was 12 for Christmas. Then so that's when I started making my first song. I think my first song was literally made that month using a MIDI keyboard, but it was not very good.
That's funny. No, we all start there. We all start there. And I would say I think you got a hit. How old are you now?
I'm 18 now.
You're
yeah.
18. Oh,
People
so
don't believe it's the genetics.
You're still a
but
baby.
It's true though.
Oh, you're making me feel old. I just turned 27 and I'm like, oh my God.
Really? That day I would not have known.
But no, that's super dope. So you produce, write, engineer everything yourself?
Yes. Yeah, everything is done strictly by me. All the instruments are played or generated by me. I actually don't have a drum kit or electric drums. The only thing that's different about my music is I'm not playing the drums. I use the drum pad on the MIDI keyboard. Yeah. That's where the acoustic drums come from.
Dope.
Yeah.
That's dope. Okay, so what would you say as an 18-year-old now? one of the biggest lessons you learned from being 11, 12, and kind of getting started and playing around in music to now? What would you say your, like, either like the growth that you've had, or like what are some of the things that you've learned in making music over that 6, 7 year span?
Right. So the most important lesson I've learned is to always be like original, like be yourself. You don't want to ride on somebody else's coattails, that only gets you so far. Like you look at artists, big artists, they were all mocked for something at some point, and then all of a sudden they're like globally known household names, stuff like that. So always just be yourself, cuz I was kind of I was trying to be like like super cool or whatever, or I was trying to be like nonchalant about my music. I'm very chalant actually, and I realized that that's not the way to do things, and you just have to be yourself 100%.
Man, that's a bar right there. Like I remember when I first got started in music, I didn't tell anybody, and then I got super out there with it, and then I stopped. I didn't tell anybody, and it was like, you cannot be nonchalant. You cannot act like this thing doesn't
Right,
exist.
you gotta act like you care about
You
it.
gotta act like you care about it. You gotta act like you actually want to do this. So for you, and this is something that even to this day, I don't necessarily see a lot of artists who like work on music. They don't put it out. Like I remember I was going to mock, and I was in a program. I don't know if they still have this program. It's called Trio, and I went to my Trio advisor, and we had a talk about music. And at that point in time, I was in my phase of not telling anybody, so I didn't like put no music out.
Right.
And we had a whole conversation about putting the music out there. And I thought I was maybe like alone in that until I started to kind of get around some other artists and creatives, and we would talk a little bit more. And I learned that it's a lot of people who have a lot of music that they do not put out. So to have you as an 18-year-old who's been working on music since preteen days, at what point were you like, all right, let's put it out there. Let's put it out there. Let's not care if it's good or if it's bad or, whatever it is.
Right.
Let's just put it out there.
Yeah, so it actually took me longer. I know I said I started producing when I was 12, but I didn't actually put it out until about 3 years later. I think I might have put out my first song. It was a song, I put it out on YouTube, and it's still on my YouTube channel. It's called, oh goodness, I haven't talked about this like at all, so it's hard to remember Overrated. And like, I was like 14, 15, struggling with like having friends, so I said like, oh, you're overrated, and I put that song out. That's kind of like what got me to put it out. But also because like people were saying, I was sharing it with some of my friends, like just MP3 files that I would send to their phone numbers so that they could give me some feedback on how the song was, and they would say, hey, this is really good, you should release this. And I was like, all right. So that kind of gave me hope. It was more so as soon as I realized that people were actually going to listen to it and that they actually enjoyed it, I wanted more people to enjoy it as well and relate to it, which is something that people say that they do a lot. They apply my music to their own lives, and that's what I want everybody to do when they listen to it.
That's fire. That's fire that you even think about that. We was putting out music back in the day, and we was just putting it out. I didn't care if it inspired anybody. But no, that's super. That's dope. I remember. I'm still heartbroken about this to this day. I feel old again. Back in my day, we had the iPods. I was about to say iPad.
Right.
We had the iPods. And I would write my music on my iPod. This is back before I didn't have an iPhone. I couldn't afford it. I was still Androided out. And had my little iPod, and I would write songs on there. And one day I dropped my iPod, and the screen cracked so bad I couldn't get back into it. It was not attached to any iCloud. I lost all of my
Oh no.
younger songs. And I say that because when I think about like my older music, and this is something that I talk to people about often, is the struggle of these older songs that we have versus the newer songs. And obviously we're like, ooh, back then it wasn't so good. It wasn't so good.
Oh,
and we
yeah.
are, and a lot of people that I talk to, we have a similar story in that, let me just take the bad away. Let me just upload it on here. Let me take it away. Let me just wipe the world of that. But for you to leave that, you know, that first song on there, and then people to be able to go and listen to that and then just hear the growth of you as an artist and as a person.
Right.
How were you able to get to the point where you were like, I'm gonna leave this up? This is a part of the journey, it's part of the story.
Right. I think I think you said this earlier, but like everybody starts somewhere, right? And I think showing that growth is like that just shows, you know, even more you see these people like, okay, let's say it's like a fitness influencer or something. It's much more believable when they've made progress themselves. You see the progress, or like let's say for example, you see the weight that they lost before you know that what they're doing is helping. You know what I mean? Like, but be careful on the internet, y'all. But like, don't believe everything you see. But you can definitely believe in my music. It's authentic. But yeah, so that's kind of the point where I was at, where I was like, you know, I don't think this is an issue. It's not embarrassing. It's it's like my art. You know, it's where I started. It's who I am. Part of me, for real.
That's dope. That's super duper dope. For you, is it with the rise of the internet and where the internet is now? Is like, I remember when I was probably like your age, a little bit before then, it was the rise of like the Instagram comics or Facebook comics. It was like the rise of like Instagram was kind of on its come up, and people were making careers of social media. So it was a little bit easier during that time to kind of be seen because it wasn't as flooded. But like you
Right.
said, now everything, like, you can't believe everything you see on the internet, and it's such a flooded place. Can you speak to how you were able to find like your tribe via social media or the internet, or the journey you're taking in finding your tribe of people that it's like, all right, this, I'm making music for them and I'm
Right.
just reaching them?
Right. I guess I would say, you know, I make my music for everyone. My music's for everybody to listen to, but a lot of the time actually, you know, I want people to relate with whatever I actually went through. So, I guess it's just whatever I've been through. That's kind of my target audience too, to kind of help them like listen to my music, because it was healing for me to write it, and it's healing for me to listen to it over again. So, you know, maybe it'll help somebody else heal up if they've gone through like the same thing. Because like, you know, like I listen to a lot of like Adele. What is that, like she's like the queen of breakup songs, right? You know, like people listen to Adele all the time when they get
Love
broke.
Adele.
But yeah, so that's kind of what I wanted to do. And yeah.
That's dope. That's super duper dope. When you think about like some of the themes in your music, like what are some of the things that you typically write about, that you kind of find yourself gravitating toward when it's time to make a new song, or some of the experiences that you have had that maybe have influenced some of the songs that you've written?
Right. So I'd say like pretty much 90% of my songs are written like straight out of just like what has happened to me in real life. So my lyrics is literally just me telling you stories of what has happened to me, and like, you know, just in song form. So, like, for example, I have this one song, Fake It. It's literally about, I posted it today. It's about like this breakup I went through. It was nasty. Like, this girl had cheated on me and stuff. And so, yeah, so that's what I put that out, because it's literally what happened to me in my life. Like all my lyrics, everything, it's just literally story of my life. So, yeah.
I feel that. I feel that. That's ah.
Yeah.
All right, way to go. So when you see yourself in your career, what is it that, like, what are your goals? Like this, and I'll give you a little bit of a background. I usually give this spiel off air, but hey, whatever. We're here. So the radio station Uptown Sounds is really a platform that I try to use to educate, encourage, share war stories, if you will, of artists. And like
Right.
myself personally, I'm a producer. And so I work with a lot of artists, writing, producing for them. And in that, like I've been saying, I find very similar experiences across the board. But one thing that I've been talking to people about more, and one thing that I had to learn, I took a trip out to California and I went to a school that was run by these like super producers. I think they just closed the school up not too long ago, but it was called 1500 Sound Academy, and it was run by two guys by the name of James Fauntleroy and Lawrence Dobson, and they've worked with everybody from Jay-Z to Justin Timberlake and everybody in between. And one of the things when I went out there is I realized that there was no like one size fits all for a career, you know, and it made me, once I got back here, it made me really like take a step back, look around and say, okay, what is it that I want for my career? And that has changed and evolved from the time I started making music all the way up to like the beginning of this week. I'm still figuring it out. So I ask artists now, and creatives just in general, not, you know, just kind of as a, what do you see for yourself? Like, where do you see yourself going? Like, is the goal Bruno Mars? Is the goal, I want to write demos and I want to be able to get these in the hands of other artists. I want to be the person who brings projects to life, or even just, you know, there's a whole career path of people who just kind of live somewhere in the middle where they make a living, they perform shows, they go on tours, they sell merch, they live their lives, and they maybe aren't as well known as the, you know, the Beyoncés or the Justin Biebers or what have you. What does Zeke Rowan see for himself in your career?
For my career, I want to be famous, but like you have to think about why you want to be famous. Like the reason why I want to be famous is because I want to touch as many lives as possible. Like you know, like mental health is a big thing. I try to mention when I like do things like this, because it's really, like people say we have all these therapists, all these, but no, like people are still suffering from mental illness and such. And it took me a long time. Like just as I got out of high school, I started, you know, getting better with all that. But I know a lot of people out there are struggling, and there's not much, you know, I can do about it. That I can't really think of any other way to get to people than, you know, sharing what is my art. And when they listen to it, like it kind of is what I said before. I just want them to feel better about whatever they're going through. So yeah, that is my goal. I want to be famous, but for the right reasons. And I don't want to be like one of those celebrities that just gets famous and then kind of forgets about the people that haven't got them there. Because you are not, you know, if you're famous, it's not because of you. It's because of the people who, you know, perceive you. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's because of them. And I want to be able to give back to people. So
y'all make sure y'all bet the bank on Zeke Rowan. All right, he is so incredibly talented, such a dope human being, like humble, just cool to kick it with. Like he is one of those people. Anytime that we get to show love to Zeke Rowan on the back line, you better believe that we showing love to Zeke, because I just so believe in what he's doing. I believe in him as a person and as an artist. So y'all make sure y'all show him some love. Go and follow him on Instagram at Zeke Rowan, ZekeRowann. Tap in with him there, and tap in with his band too. They making moves now. I know they recording music and they ready to, like, they about to pop out on everybody. So y'all make sure y'all show love to the band too at Palm of Your Hand Band on Instagram. Show them some love. Shoot them a DM. Let them know how you feeling them. Let them know. Send them some love. Shoot them some love. All right. Now listen, I want to thank y'all for tapping into the backline this last hour. It's been my pleasure being y'all hostess with the mostest. I hope you have enjoyed today's episode. I appreciate y'all growing with me. Thank you to Sonic Scout Radio for allowing me to have this platform where I can come in and show some love to all these incredible artists that we are hearing on today's episode and on every episode of the backline. If you are interested in having your music featured on the backline, go ahead, do one of three things, or you can do all three of them if you want to. All right, shoot me a DM on Instagram at MAIMUXIC, MAIMUXIC. Go ahead and shoot me an email at the backline at Sonic Scout Radio. That is the backline at Sonic Scout Radio. Or just shoot me a text message, 810-853-1617. Just let me know who you are. Shoot me some of your music. Let me know what you're doing. You know, give me a little bio, a little synopsis, what have you, that I can get to the people, or something that I can tell them about, where they can follow you at, the whole nine, so we can show you the love the proper way, where your music is streaming at. And listen, If you have not had a chance to check out my show, Uptown Sounds, go and listen to that one. This week is super duper dope. We were joined by the one and only Shayla Hamady. She is a staple over at Uptown Sounds, and y'all will love her too. If you love the music on the backline, y'all are definitely gonna love Shayla Hamady. So go and listen to that interview. She has a new project that's dropping. It's super incredible. I had the opportunity to listen to it straight through yesterday, and let me tell y'all, woo-wee, that girl is something special. So tap in with that. She got so much dope stuff coming. And make sure you tap in with our official YouTube page at MAIMUXIC, MAIMUXIC. There you will be able to find every episode of Uptown Sounds that drops every Monday at 8 a.m. And you will be able to find every episode of The Backline that drops every Tuesday at 8 a.m. You'll be able to find all of our interviews, including the finished version of the Zeke Rowan interview. You'll be able to tap in with the whole thing over there. But thank y'all again for tapping in. We gonna let Zeke take us out. Y'all heard this joint last week, and I know y'all loved it. All right, this is my boy Zeke Rowan featuring Monica James with Shadows. I'm gonna see y'all next week.
You know I would have loved you if you'd let me in. I can't help my admiration when you touch my skin. Love me deeper, darling, either way I'm still your shadow. I've been gone for what I live for, still you're in my shadow.